Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today I want to talk to you all about the 11.1.7 rotational helper feature and the one button rotation, I guess, well, feature as well, that's coming in the upcoming patch 11.1.7, which is now available for testing today on PTR. For those that haven't been paying attention or living under a rock like myself, yesterday, Dr. Atnos, Max, and Ian had an interview, about 45-ish minutes, where we talked about a lot of things philosophy-wise heading later into the World Soul Saga, talking about breaking computational add-ons and things, which doesn't really correspond to the rotation helper, but they did mention there's going to be a rotation assist coming. If you've played with Achille in the past before, it is, I believe, the #1 rotational assist add-on out there. They'll be adding this to the baseline game, and in addition to that, they're also going to be adding a one button rotation where basically the game will hit your spells for you in a sense, but they're also adding a bit of a delay onto each spell cast. I think it's like 0.3 seconds between each spell to not make it like optimal in a sense, to make it easy for players that need that feature, but not, better than playing your rotation at a higher level, min-maxing around things, and going from there. So we're going to be looking at all of that today. Also, a real quick side tangent here. I'm recording this after I finish the video, so this is like me in the futures in the past. Let me know down below in the comment section what y'all think about the features and stuff here, but keep in mind, I elaborate more at the end of this video about how I feel about it personally, and even a little bit here, more from like a general helping a larger portion of the player base kind of perspective. You'll see what I mean. Regardless, I appreciate y'all watching. And just a quick heads up, I am pushing for 100k subs on YouTube this year. If you can find that in your heart and sub to the channel, if you want support, I'd love you, but honestly, I love y'all either way. Yeah, be sure to like the video, though. But all right, yeah. Let's get it going. I am in game here. I haven't actually tried to play with it at all. I don't know. I mean, I enabled it. I found the button in my spellbook. It's up here in the top right corner. I just made an L with my hand to tell my left from right. I'm a 34-year-old man. Anyway, it's up here if you want to drag it onto your bars. I put it here on F4. So what we're going to do here, I'm a Warlock, obviously. But this is applicable to probably any class for the most part. One of the biggest questions we have about the rotational assist is just how optimized is it going to be? Now, #1 off the bat here, when it comes to the rotational assist add-on, people are very bothered by this. Some people are. I don't really know as to why. #1, this is not going to be played in any kind of high-end setting. It's not going to be played in the Race to World First, where you spam one button and do mechanics only. It's not going to be that way. I can guarantee you 100% without a doubt in my heart that will not be the case. From the way I see it, it's more to help people out that have disabilities or a handicap, possibly they can't play the game to the full extent they want to, and or just newer players that don't really care as much. Someone playing the game casually just want to hit one button and see the storyline, this, that, whatever. I don't see a downside to this. If I think in the nicest way possible, if you feel threatened by this, you should just look to be better. If that makes sense. And I mean that in a nice way. Look to improve your play. Look to learn the ins and outs of your class where it's not threatening things. I see it as purely a positive. I don't see really a downside to this or anything. As far as like overall accessibility goes for the player base and people that might not be able to play to their full capacity. Now, with that being said, one of the big things about this point or this system is that I'm a bit curious. I haven't tried it out myself here, but how optimized is it going to be when it comes to like Mythic Plus, rating, so on and so forth? Is it going to know when to cast for Warlock Soulfire procs in raid? Is it going to know when to spam Rain of Fire? Is it going to know when to cast a 2-shard Hand of Gul'dan going into your Tyrant? I think the answer is likely no, but we're going to find out in a minute here. To a similar extent, fights where maybe you're holding cooldowns, you're holding maybe your Infernal, maybe like a minor CD like Malevolence, holding Soul Rot, fights like One Armed Bandit, where you want to Havoc 2 specific ads. What ad is it going to Havoc? I don't know, right? So once again, this is not going to replace any kind of rotational prowess that you'll see in like a mid to higher tier rating, M+ setting, so on or so forth, but it will make things much more accessible and easier for players that can't necessarily do that for whatever reason. At least I see. So I'm going to start off here. I'm playing Demonology initially. I'm going to try and walk through what the ability's doing. It might be a little hard to do. I haven't tried it at all. I'm going to tell you what the opener looks like and go from there. Say if it's, doing things properly, improperly, so on and so forth. I might have to record this multiple times because it might be a little challenging. But regardless, so now this is the button here. Once again, it doesn't show it. I think buttons might glow if let me move this here, if I'm using the helper, not this button itself. I don't really know. We're gonna find out. Now, #1, I can tell you right now, it's already wrong. in a sense, because you want to precast Power Siphon before the boss is pulled. So to a similar extent, to like Affliction, precasting Haunt and Unstable Affliction, precasting spells before boss is pulled, it's not going to be that in depth. So number one, if you're worried about replacing you in a raid setting, if you're on the higher end, it's already wrong off the bat. That's okay. Because that's at a level of more min-maxing where it doesn't really matter as much, right? So I'm not going to open up with what I do. I'm going to see what it does, right? So I don't have my weak wars active on PTR, but shards are here. Cast bar should be here somewhere. We'll figure it out, right? So I'm just going to hit F2. It's going to cast Grimoire Felguard, which is technically my third spell after precasting a Siphon and 2 Shadow Bolts. That's okay. So it goes... Let me get the right pet out here first. Where my pet summons at? There we go. I don't have my bars all set up here. So, Feldom. Where is my pet? Not working. It's okay. Don't need it anyways. We'll pull up my Felguard. So it's going to go Grimoire Felguard initially, it looks like. So let's get this dude out. Wait for my shard to come back. Put him on assist. All right. Grimoire Felguard. First button. I lag. It's okay. Now it's going Charhound. Not really what I'd do. I go Shadow Bolt there, but it's okay. Now it's going Dreadstalkers. Now it's siphoning. Now it's casting Demonic Strength. Now it's going Demon Bolt. Now it's going Hand of Gul'dan. I think my pets have expired already. Now it's Demon Bolting. Now it's handing. Now it's handing. I'm waiting for Tyrant, but I don't see Tyrant anywhere. We didn't Tyrant, but that's okay. We'll keep going with that. I have not played this. I've not hit this button before. So, all right, it's Charhounding now. It might be setting up a Tyrant. We're going to see it's Siphoning. Okay, we're Demon Bolting. We are waiting for a spell to queue up. It's Demon Bolting again. It's casting Hand of Gul'dan. It's casting Inferno Bolt from Big Mommy. There we go. It's casting Shadow Bolt at 5 shards. It's casting Hand of Gul'dan. It's casting Dogs. Tyrant. Waiting for a spell to queue. It doesn't like Demonic Tyrant. I don't know why. Obviously, they will iterate upon this more. It's having Implosion glowing in single target. It's having Axe Toss glow. I'm casting a Charhound again. That's sort of cool. Casting Demonic Strength with no Tyrant. It's okay. We're casting Ruination here. Casting Dreadstalker. So, obviously, they're going to iterate upon this and try and improve things. I would assume that there's also some lagging here right now, you can tell as well. So, there's some like stops and pauses between spells. It's just the server that's lagging. But it's obviously going to elaborate more upon this. It just Tyrant to there, where I think we've been in combat for a minute, but it hit Tyrant there. It's obviously going to elaborate upon this more. There's plenty of, room to improve rotational stuff, a bunch for every spec across the board probably. And I would assume that Demonology is likely somewhat like one of the more complicated rotations for it to successfully, I guess, just get down. I mean, you're having random demon procs coming in. Obviously, you're managing shards, managing pets. And I am a little curious with the 0.2 second cooldown between spells being put in, how much is going to impact Tyrant setup and things. Just if you're trying to optimize Demonology on even a mid-tier level to a higher end, your Tyrant cast is very, very tight. You're casting it with maybe on the high end 3-ish seconds remaining on your first set of pets, right? So yeah, I'm not really sure how that's going to go, but we'll see if it Tyrants again here. So we're casting Hand of Gul'dan. The spells are indeed glowing as well. It looks like partially. Ruination's glowing there. Dogs are going off here. Handing again. Handing at 1 shard. Now it's Tyranting. So, actually really cool there. It did catch the 1 shard logic. I have no idea what pets I have out. Okay, so I have out a Dreadstalker and a Tyrant. I don't have my dog in here. And it didn't catch Grimoire either when it cast it, but that's okay. We're going with it. We're going to hand again. Inferno Bolt again. And we're going to see if it Tyrants in about a minute again here or so. Also, at the same time, Details is broken. Sorry. Otherwise, I have it up for you. But, I mean, it'd be pretty skewed. This character's in some subpar gear. It's just like a 2-month-old character and stuff. But, yeah. It's and I will say functionality-wise, if you're looking for if someone is looking to play the game just, at an acceptable level, doing just M0s, maybe some lower M+ stuff, maybe heading into just world questing and doing whatever, or, the follower dungeons, this would be more than fine. So for overall accessibility, this is fine. Rotationally, is it right? No, not at all. Not for Demonology, but I would assume they're going to iterate upon it a good bit and probably make things a little tighter. We'll see if it Tyrants again here. Unfortunately, so yeah, we had only 5 or 6 imps in there. We had 8 actually, I think, but we didn't have our dog in there again. So we got to figure that out next time. But yeah, that's that. Let's stop this here and let's take a look at Destruction. Okay, swapping gears here, looking at Destruction Warlock. I am playing a single target build. It's an old build I had on here. I think it's the same for single target. We will look at AoE in a minute here as well. Destruction has a couple buffs that it sort of wants to maintain within reason. Eradication. I mean, we're playing Flashpoint, a couple fights this tier, but I mean, more so it's just like the eradication on your main target is something that you want to maintain if possible, which is applied whenever you cast Shadow Burn, or Chaos Bolt, and it's somewhere in the tree here. I don't even know where it's at this point. There you go. Which lasts 7 seconds. Now, I really don't expect it to optimize around eradication, but I want to see how it is with shard play, with other effects, and, you know, so on and so forth. Now, the button's right here again. Oddly enough, it's asking me to cast Cataclysm on this target here. Maybe it thinks I'm in AoE, I'm not really sure, but you would want to open up on a Soulfire precast. Once again, precasting is not something that the add-on or the function is like really smart with at this point. I don't know if it ever will be actually. It's sort of a more of a kind of advanced kind of thing, right? Regardless though, we're gonna follow what it does. I don't have I'm not using an act cursor like macro for this either, so I don't know how it's even gonna place the Cataclysm when I hit this button, but we'll see. I'm targeting this thing, and it's actually casting Cata at my target. There you go. So it's gonna Shadow Burn. It's gonna Shadow Burn. It's gonna Shadow Burn. Okay, this thing's low health. It's just like Cryo-wing Shadow Burn. So we're hard casting a Soulfire. That seems pretty subpar. We still haven't Infernal yet. I'm waiting to Infernal. Not really sure what's going to happen here. I'm Incinerating, Conflagrating, Chaos Bolting. Eradication is being maintained there. I mean, it is low on health, which you'll probably find the different dummy that's higher health than this, but I don't really know. Yeah, it is cool. It's casting Cataclysm at my target. I don't think it's even an option, right? Yeah, that's sort of cool. Okay, that's a tier set proc. We still have not Infernal yet. That's okay. We're gonna figure this out as we go, I guess. There's another Chaos Bolt. Waiting my Infernal for a very long time here. Hoping to cast at some point before the 2-minute mark. We're gonna find out. So there's the actual Soulfire proc. You don't ever cast Soulfire in your main rotation here, like when you're in combat, unless you actually get Soulfire procs, like the ones that make it basically instant cast. If it's a full hard cast Soulfire, you don't want to do it, pretty much, right? And we have not popped our trinket yet either. Malevolence is sitting off the cooldown here. Let's try and find something that's on higher health, and see if it makes a difference. I have not tried any of these beforehand. I'm literally seeing it as we go here. Let's try and put a turnip outside and see what happens. It might make a difference. So let me leave combat. I don't know where it would even be here. I have a turnip here. We'll do this. This is at full health, so it shouldn't prioritize Shadow Burn too much here. Let's see if it like Infernals and does everything on its own. Need to get a pet out here too. Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to cast our Cataclysm. I'm hitting F3 to clarify. I'm just hitting this one button, right? I'm hitting F3. So we're going to F3. It's opening on Cata. It's Shadow Burning. One Shadow Burn's fine. Double is sort of weird. Conflagrating there is fine. You never hardcast Soulfire here. It's not Infernaling. I don't know if it's because it wants me to place Infernal with like my reticle, like this, or if it just, but it's casting Cataclysm on my target without doing that. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. You can see a bit of a delay here as well between the spells being cast also. It's like there is like a 0.2-ish second delay, give or take. But I mean, honestly, Destra's pretty easy to just cast, to maintain for the most part. It's basically building shards, Incinerate, Conflagrate, maintaining your Wither or Immolate, casting Chaos Bolts, casting Shadow Burns. The major issue here is that it hasn't cast Infernal, which is right here, or Malevolence right here, which I can do on my own right now. Throw my Infernal. Let's see what it does when I put these down, actually. So I put these down. It's just doing stuff. There's a Soulfire proc. That's good. Casting Chaos Bolt. It hasn't popped Trinket. I'm not sure if it's going to be a thing it does manually or if I have to do it manually or what. But I'm going to pop that here too, because why not? Sure. It has, like, I guess, a very, very basic, like, gist or understanding of what Destra's rotation is at its core. It's casting Chaos Bolts, Incinerates, and Conflagrates. But the main issue here is cooldown timing, which was the same with Demonology, Tyrants, and all that, right? So there is that. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Obviously, there is an incredible amount of room to improve from that if you're looking to, you know, play in a higher setting and learn the rotation on your own. But I want to see how it is with Affliction as well, because Affliction is obviously a dot-based spec. There's a lot to maintain here and juggle a lot of spinning plates and all that, and see how that looks as well. Let me try and drop combat here real fast and look at some AoE as well. I'm not going to do AoE for all 3 specs also. We'll just do one, because, yeah. But So Affliction, I have some of my bars set up. I'll just grab my Dark Lair out of my spellbook here, and we should be good to go. Where's Dark Lair? We'll do that. I don't know where it was. Okay. So let's go back to El Turnip and see how this looks. Now, like I said, Affliction, I mean, there's a lot to maintain as Affliction. You're juggling a lot of effects. I mean, Agony, Corruption, UA, Haunt. And the big thing with Affliction is, I'm also going to play Siphon Life here and see if it maintains Wither manually. That's totally fair. Juggling effects. You're juggling Shadow's Embrace, you're juggling Haunt, you're juggling Dots, right? And that's where I'm really curious, because if those effects fall for Affliction, it's going to be a lot worse than it is like Destra or Aff. So, yeah. I got to pet out. Let's do it. Holy moly, someone's waving at me. Holy moly, hello. All right, let's do it. So let me grab the button and see what it opens up on. Now, Affliction would typically open on a precast Haunt into a precast Unstable Affliction, which will hit the boss when it's pulled, basically, right? So it's not precasting Haunt here, but it is going to cast UA off the bat, which is actually fine. You'll cast it when the boss is pulled. It's okay. We'll see what happens. So let's do it. Unstable Affliction, then it Agonies, then it's Singularities. That is 1000% wrong. Then it's Soul Rots. We haven't applied Wither yet. We haven't applied Corruption yet. Now we're Haunting. No, we haven't Dark Lair. Now we're Rapturing. We didn't stack Shadow's Embrace. We didn't pop Malevolence or Trinket either. Okay. So obviously there's room for improvement. It looks like the major cooldowns are just bugged for Warlock right now. It's not popping Dark Lair or Malevolence, or Trinkets are maybe one thing in itself, but it still hasn't applied Wither yet either, which I'm very curious about. It could just be like a Hellcaller thing. That's bugged, possibly. We can try and swap the Soul Harvester and see if it changes anything. Soul Harvester has Corruption and not Wither. But I am curious as where this is going to go. Just leave combat. Please leave combat. There we go. There we go. Grab some of this, no big deal. We're not looking for optimal damage here, obviously. I'm just trying to see what happens rotationally. I would assume that it probably applies Corruption, but it's just not working functionality-wise with Wither. And that could be the case why Malevolence is not working either. Maybe they haven't elaborated upon your talents and things yet. So, okay, I'm out of combat. It wants to cast Corruption off the bat. So let's do this. Just gonna start Corruption. So it goes Corruption, then UA. It should be UA first, but and then it goes Agony, Singularity. It's Soul Rotting. Dark Lair now? It needs to Dark Lair there. So like that opener right there. Oh, my turnip went away. That opener right there is actually fine. It's like for the most part. It's not optimal by any means. We haven't cast Haunt on it one time yet, but it's definitely better that it's applying both dots and things. If they work the Dark Lair in after that Soul Rot, that's like a typical opener for Affliction for the most part, right? Let's go over here, apply Corruption. I'm lagging, hopefully it'll come back. There's Corruption, there's UA, there's Agony. So it does know to apply like these dots to new targets as well. There's Haunt. It's not going to Singularity yet, it's just going to Rapture a bit. Now I want to see if it maintains shards here also. It is not maintaining shards at all. That's okay. It's applying Corruption again. There we go. Pretty early, that's all right. Now it's going to Singularity. So it should hold Singularity for Soul Rot here. If you're looking to like optimize your rotation, because they sync together every minute. You don't pop them on their own really ever at all, unless you have to. UA is falling here. It's going to Rapture without a UA. Actually, recast UA. That's good. Okay. It's going to Soul Rot on its own now. Is it Dark Lair now? It does not. It's refreshing Haunt. We also we should be Rapturing now, so we're going to Rapture a little bit. Okay. There's some core logic here, but obviously it needs to be expanded a lot upon. Right, so the major issues seem to lie in like major cooldowns with Dark Lair, Infernal, Tyrant, Malevolence being a cooldown as well, Trinkets that make pops and all that. And there is some core logic with like just rotational structuring, how you want to cast certain things before other abilities. But is this functional for like for a player who's getting into a new class, wants to hit buttons and not really worry about it? Yeah, for sure. Will it help somebody who might be able to play at full capacity, whether with a disability or handicap? 1000%, right? And I would assume they have plenty of time to expand upon this more, Blizzard that is, and optimize rotational things even more. So let's look at it really briefly in AoE. All right, and lastly, we're going to be looking at it in AoE here. I have no idea how it's going to handle this thing. I am targeting a dummy here. It's surrounded by 4 other mobs. Maybe it's smart and it knows there's AoE happening here. I have no idea. We're gonna play Destro here. We're not. I'll swap to Havoc. Actually, I'll play more of a. I'll play Mayhem. No, I want to play Havoc here. See if it applies Havoc in a logical kind of means, right? I probably should grab CDF too. This is just a random build that I had. I probably should go like this. Let's grab this. Just no Soulfire play. I'll just grab I'll grab like Fire and Brimstone and like Pyrogenics. Sure, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. You at times you grab PO or other effects too. Sometimes you play Shadowburn, but for more of a general starter build, this is probably fine. Maybe we should grab Shadowburn here just to see what it does. Let's grab some Shadowburn and see what it does, actually. Sure. Let's do this. I think this is more of like the single target build people play anyways. I think you play... I forgot what goes here. What comes out of here. I'll just pull EP for now. It's fine. That works. So we're going to see what it does with this build in an AoE-based setting. So we have 5 targets here. We're not looking for overall damage. We're looking for rotational fluidity and how it looks. So we have Cataclysm here. I'm targeting this mob in here, this meat grinder of animals. So here we go. We're going to Kata. We're going to Kata. Rain of Fire. Conflagrate. Incinerate. We should be casting CDF right now. It is casting Rain of Fire. Incinerate. Conflagrate. Incinerate. Okay, so I mean, we should be casting a... I mean, the larger issue here is that it's not casting major cooldowns, once again. You're not casting Infernal, you're not casting Dark Lair or anything. It is weaving in Rain of Fires. There's 2 back-to-back Rain of Fires. They're actually almost a proc. That's actually good logic to have there. I did actually catch Withers fell there. I'd assume they did because we didn't cast CDF. So we'll see what it does here for the next X seconds. We haven't cast CDF, we haven't cast Infernal, we haven't cast Malevolence. Yeah, Withers are all going to fall now, unfortunately. We don't have Cataclysm back up. Yeah, so let's stop here. This is how it should look roughly. I'm going to stop and I'll show you what the opener actually should look like, right? So we're going to get out of combat here. I'm not sure if this is going to like highlight what I should be casting versus shouldn't. I'm going to cast what you should cast in AoE, and go from there. So, waiting on cooldowns. I think we're good here. All right, so we're going to go, like heading into a pack. It's rounded up, whatever, give or take. We're going to go Cataclysm. Infernal. I'm going to Malevolence. I'm going to cast CDF to extend Withers. I'm going to cast Rain of Fire. I'm going to cast Rain of Fire. I'm going to Conflagrate. I'm probably going to Incinerate once. I'm going to cast Rain of Fire. You can weave Shadowburns here too if you want. Rain of Fire, Conflagrate, target a mob. Incinerate, Rain of Fire. This, Rain of Fire. This, Rain of Fire. I'm going to cast CDF to extend Withers here. Very important, it wasn't doing that. Going to Rain of Fire. Going to Rain of Fire. Going to Conflagrate and cast Cataclysm. Obviously, you'd want to cast Havoc and things here too for more shard generation. I didn't cast Havoc here. I wasn't like weaving Shadowburns for like a even more advanced level, but that's what you want to do, right? From what I saw, it wasn't actually applying Havocs. It wasn't Infernaling or Malevolencing or Cataing or CDFing. It wasn't applying Havoc. Obviously, there's a bit of logic to probably be worked out still with the rotational helper, but it was weaving in a couple of Rain of Fires back to back. Is this an acceptable rotation for a newer player playing the class? Sure. Yeah, right. But is there a lot of room to improve, like to become like, you know, like a better and better player? Yes, 1000%. Rotational helpers are... I'm actually fine with them if you're picking up a class for the first time and want to learn how to play it and stuff. And like Achille, always been an add-on that I've honestly encouraged. People want to play alts and stuff every once in a while if they're starting a new class and chat and such. But I've always encouraged, like at a certain point, you want to learn how to play the class on your own. Not only does it help you learn damage profiles of whatever class you're playing, mage, warlock, shaman, hunter, doesn't matter. Damage profiles, it helps you learn that. It helps you learn how to approach fights in a different manner with maybe you want more single target, maybe you want more cleave. At times you want to hold cooldowns, at times you want to pop cooldowns, at times you want to do XYZ that rotational add-ons won't be able to do logically. But that's what begins to separate a player from being, you know, entry level versus solid versus intermediate versus good versus being like the higher end, knowing when to hold cooldowns, and then also not just knowing when to hold cooldowns, but knowing when and why you're holding those cooldowns, right? I can pull up a list of logs and see, okay, this person's infernaling at 720. I don't know why, but I'll do the same thing. But then knowing when and why they're doing that, and then being in that setting early on when you don't have that roadmap for you, and knowing what to do on your own and formulating your own approach to that based around your own cooldowns, that's important. That's what you learn. That's what you learn doing things on your own. But is this a great tool for players that might be have disabilities or can't play the game, you know, to the full capacity that they want to, 1,000%, yes. And I'm sure those will improve upon it more. But if you're feeling threatened by this in any way, shape, or form, don't. Just don't. It's not coming for anybody in the world first position. You're fine. It's okay. It is there for accessibility for people that, you know, want to play it at more of an easier pace, all that kind of stuff. But honestly, they're going to improve upon it more, I would assume, looking at how it is here. But even putting all that aside, even having a general knowledge of how your class functions, you could likely play at a decently higher level than what it's doing right now. At the same time, even putting all that aside, there's a baseline delay of 0.2 seconds for every spell that it casts because of it being sort of a one-button kind of set it and forget it kind of thing. Oh, 0.3. So, yeah, there you go. So TLDR, accessibility-wise, very good. All that. Is it going to take your raid spot on Mythic Gallywix? No. It's probably not taking it on normal. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope it helped you out. And, yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.